Friday night college football breakdown. There are only four games that we're tracking, so we can go through each one of them. Let's learn something about these games. Let's go through the college football algorithm to see if it will provide any relevant information. If we want to make a wager on any of these, I've already done a run through on all the games, and let me tell you, the algorithm and the odds makers are in way too close alignment already, and that's sad, but let's talk about what it says. First of all, up at the top. So we're sorting these four games. This team over here, called the team of reference, is the team that the algorithm picks to win the game by this projected score over here. So it thinks Louisville is going to beat North Carolina State in North Carolina State, which is a city in North Carolina. I'm going to guess Raleigh, but I don't know. They're going to beat them, and they're going to beat them by 10 on the road. They have a 33.7% win algorithm percentage, meaning they are heavily, they're really favored by the team stats. Just looking at the way the team has played in conference games. The strength of schedule comparison between these two teams is dead even, meaning supposedly they've played an equal caliber of teams in the first 3 or 4 weeks here. So this really does give the nod to Louisville. And of all the picks, the algorithm is designed to put teams at the top that have the most likelihood of winning by point projection, since they could win by 10 points. So it is probably the pick of the day just on the money line, because all these other games are way too close. However, they're on the road. And so what we've learned, or at least what seems to be the case as I've gone through the results of the algorithm, is that there absolutely is a home advantage for football teams, because crowd is screaming when the opposing team is trying to hike the ball. There's a favorability to being at home that matters. So it's going to affect things, because I'm not adjusting for that in the projections or in the win strength. In a sport like college basketball, where I will create a bump that moves this team up a little bit and changes scores, I don't do that yet in college football. So we have to kind of read into what it's saying. It's saying that an away team that is not necessarily supposed to win, a home team that's supposed to lose in a game when they're home, when the other team is supposed to win, they will generally put up more points than what is shown here, because they are home. And this team is going to have to win. They may have to score more. It happened in a game yesterday on Thursday where we had Jacksonville State had to come back, and they fell behind and they had to outscore and come back, but they had this big algorithm win percentage. So there's a similar algorithm win percentage here with Louisville, and the strength of schedule is better on this game. So they're probably going to win, which is why I say the money line pick is probably the best. And I'll throw that on a round robin today as one of my picks, because it's about the only thing the algorithm says is probably going to win today more than 50% of the time is this one. So now, but it thinks North Carolina State might put up more than 23 because they're home. So what happens in this game? Do they go over also? Potentially. Or Louisville gets stopped by NC State's defense because NC State is at home and their points go down, and NC State could win a lower scoring game. I really don't know how it goes here. Too tough to tell, but Louisville to win is probably the number one pick. Now, these other games have much closer algorithm win strengths, and the projected margin of victory is less than a touchdown. So Louisiana Tech, that has a worse strength of schedule, is on the road. The line's okay. Margin's really small. Says they could win by 5 or 6. However, they're on the road. And the strength of schedule too. So this is just a toss-up. It's a complete toss-up. Texas El Paso probably puts up more points. This just, even the over-under is close. It's basically unbettable. It's a complete pick-em. And if you can't get either team at a positive line, this is an interesting game to maybe live bet. And whenever one of these teams drops down, the other one might come back. And you could bet both sides of the game at over a plus 100 line if you can. I've talked about the betting both sides strategy in videos that are longer ago, but that's one of those games where if you're going to watch it, betting on, I bet you there's lead changes in this game. That's what I'm saying. Now, the other games similar too. Now, here you have Oregon State, slightly worse strength of schedule against Utah, but they're home. their algorithm win strength is negative, meaning team stat wise, Utah would win this game at a neutral site, is what this kind of means. Well, Oregon State's favored because they're home, says there's not a lot of points in the game, and the odds makers oddly agree with us. Like, look at this change in listed over unders that the odds makers came up with. I mean, if you tried to do this randomly, you look at how close this is. Crazy. It's crazy. There's no magnifier here in the college football file, so we can't change up and down scores. Actually, there probably is a magnifier, but it's not readily available, and I don't have it sitting here like in the NFL file. So this is more of a raw point projection that we're just kind of going with 1 point projection. I'm just astonished, right? 1.5 points, 3 points, 1.5 points, half a point, or 1.5 points. Like, unreal. So it means that it's very tough to wager on the over-unders in any of these games. You could see potentially Oregon State putting up a little more, but then it says the away team might score less when the home team's actually favored here. So they could hold Utah to even less, apparently. Very difficult look on these games here. So I really can't tell you much other than on a short night like this, if you did one thing, it's just take Louisville to win, because you're putting your money with the best caliber team that gives it more than a touchdown victory, even though they're on the road. And while in a sport like college basketball, I frequently say you don't ever want to have your money on an away team, just almost never. Like, there's almost no reason ever to take away teams in college basketball because the home team wins so much. It is not apparently the case from what I've seen historically here in college football so far this season. We could look at different weeks and try to figure it out. Let's do that real quick. So what we have is we're going to open up all the weeks. We've done 5 weeks so far, retroactively coming in at 79 and 39. What about when the home teams? 68 and 16, winning 81%, and the away teams 51 and 27, only winning 65%. But they're our away teams. They're not just away teams in general. And we're 5-1 on neutral site games. So interesting. So even though we're hitting 65% historically of our away teams here, that's still not as great of a number as when you sum up the home and the neutrals, 80%. So here you're getting 4 out of 5 money line winners, but our aways, you're getting more like 3 out of 5. So it's good to know. And I just tell you that this level of analysis, here's the whole week here for week 6. This level of analysis it just has no choice but to give you somewhat of a leg up, because you can really make knowledgeable decisions. I haven't even updated the injury report for this thing yet, because I didn't really care, because we're doing a lot of summary team stats. But anyway, Friday night, basically it says go with Louisville, and the other games you can expect to win 1, lose 2, win 2, lose 1. You can expect lead changes potentially in this game and this game. Oregon State might run away with this, given that they're home and they've got a 5-point margin of victory already. I'm just scared to see this negative 9.8, and I'm scared to see this slightly negative 4. All these teams down here have worse strength of schedule comparisons. So anyway, that was a Friday night update. As you can see, you can just keep digging in forever and analyze what this gives you, but it will help you make more knowledgeable wagers, and hopefully they'll win. So good luck. May all your picks be winning. Go Louisville.